call the Kankakee County Full Board meeting to order for November 14th. Today's invocation is from Carol Weber.
Dear Lord, we are thankful to be here today, and we're proud to live in the United States of America, where we have school systems and health care and religious freedom, and we are proud to be Americans. We appreciate your help, Lord, and ask you to protect those who serve, those veterans who have served before us, and all those who work as first responders, and help us in our time of need. Help us to remember that you have a plan for us, and it's a plan for good. Help us to put aside our arguments and our ill-conceived plans, and only turn to goodness, cooperation, and happy times. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Righty, get a roll call, please.
Mr. Hess. Mr. Tholen. Mrs. Polk.
Present.
Mr. Snipes. Mr. Seroy. Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Parker. Mr. Fairfield. Mr. Carrico. Mr. Eckhoff. Mr. Swanson. Mr. Featherling. Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller. Mr. Long. Mr. Kirkstra. Mr. Hunter. Mr. Smith. Mr. Alexander Hildebrand. Ms. Foster. Ms. Andrade. Ms. Armour Earps.
Present.
Mr. Ashcraft. Ms. Monday. Ms. Rittmanick-Emmy.
Present.
Mr. Scanlon. Ms. Turner.
Present.
Mr. Wheeler.
Present.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. I believe we need a motion in a second to allow Ms. Earps into the meeting. We didn't do that one. Is there a motion? Mr. Eckhoff, Mr. Ashcraft, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Under, let's see here, public commentary, we've got a few here. We've got 15 minutes. Board can vote to extend. Just as a reminder, please address the board, and also that the county board has no authority in siding within the village of Manteno. There is nothing we would vote on here. Comments welcome. There is nothing jurisdictionally. You can tell us what you think, what you feel. We welcome that. But please don't expect action out of this board, because we have no jurisdiction whatsoever. Okay? Thank you. We have Terry, is it King? Krug? Okay, sorry about that. Microphone's right over there.
How many people here are veterans? Anybody here a veteran? Okay. Any of your fathers in World War II? Okay. All I gotta say is I'm sure during wartime you listened to the people with knowledge, with intel. I want to know who in this county, who in Manteno, who has more intel than the FBI. The head of the FBI said Goshen is no good, to not bring them in. They said it on 60 Minutes. I'm sure you've all heard it. You've all seen it. Then my next question is, every Republican candidate for president has said when they win, they are kicking Goshen and any Russian, Iranian, North Korean companies out of this country. Every single one of them has said that. So, if the town of Manteno goes through with putting this in, what do we do with this albatross come January 2025? I wish someone, somewhere, can answer these questions. You may not be able to answer these questions. I will ask this to Manteno, too. But what happens when we have a Republican, let's just assume we're going to have a Republican president, and they tell these people to leave. Sarah Huckabee did it. They're gone. They're out of her state. And this is what's going to happen, and we're going to be left with an albatross. And what do we do with it? That's all I got to say. So it's something y'all got to think of. Your grandfathers and your forefathers fought to keep these type of companies and these people out of our country. And the head of the FBI is telling you we don't need this. There's a problem. Thank you.
We have Annette Lamore from Manteno is next.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Annette Lamore, and I've lived in Manteno all my life. When people like myself come to the county board to express our concerns, we expect to be heard without judgment or harassment. At the previous meeting, we were accused of spreading libelous information. In fact, we are concerned citizens who are questioning why our mayor signed a non-disclosure agreement and did not want to tell us what was planned for our town. Did any of you know about this when Tim Nugent talked to you, or did he even talk to you about it? The facts that we have gathered about this looming project come to us from United States FBI Director Christopher Wray, the No Goshen Group from Green Charter, Michigan, Mark Glennon from WirePoints, articles that we found in China's internet domain, and FOIA documents from the village of Manteno, Bourbonnais, and Piatone. As a matter of fact, we requested FOIA from the Kankakee County Board on October the 23rd, and we still have not received the information requested. Aren't requests supposed to be answered in 5 business days? We are a peaceful group of American citizens who love our small town, and we want to preserve and protect the health and safety of our citizens. Inviting a secretive company into Manteno to build a potentially dangerous battery factory raises red flags. But the fact that this company has pledged their loyalty to the Communist Party is an unacceptable fact that we cannot overlook. We plan to continue to do our best to stop the biggest money deal that the state of Illinois has ever financially supported at our expense. There are many American companies that we should be supporting by bringing them into local communities. America first. In hindsight, it sounds like many boards in Kankakee County were talked into voting for something they knew nothing about. They were not told the name of the business or what product they would be making at a factory in Manteno. Shouldn't board members know what they are voting for? I would certainly question a decision this big before I voted for it. And how many think a non-disclosure agreement is a good idea? It's like buying a new car without even looking at it. Don't you think that people should have asked more questions? Where is the transparency in government when everything is kept a secret? Did you know that Tim Nugent did not even have one informational meeting about this? He never told the citizens of Manteno what he wanted to bring into our town, and all the boards had already voted on it. We had no say in the matter, and some of us, like me, have lived in Manteno all of our lives and paid taxes here for over 50 years. County board members, it is your job to make decisions based on real facts and to do what is best for the health and safety of the people that you serve. And if you don't believe that is your job, then what do you believe? Thank you.
Bob Forsyth from Manteno.
Okay, Andy. The rest of you guys here that I think you remember me from the other day from Kankakee Economic Board. Andy, I want you to look at me. I don't want you to look down.
Sir,
You
respectfully, please.
Hold on.
I'm trying to respect
I have
you.
the thing. I have the floor, not you. You're sitting up there. I'm standing right here. It's my time. I want you to know that there's 3 of you that I know for a fact that knew exactly what this was with Goshen. You sat up on there with Tim Nugent, Michael Boyd, Jeff Bennett, all the rest of them going down there. I saw it. Michael Boyd told me he knew 2 months ahead of time what Goshen was. So obviously you knew too. And if the 3 that are on here, and Rosemary, you knew too. You were right there at that meeting too. I listened to you. There's a few of you up there. I know it. And Andy, you know, I wish I came back in that room after I got done talking, because you recognized me when I came in the door here. That's why you wanted security, because Tim Nugent pulled that on me at that meeting on the Economic Board. You guys, don't look at me, look at Andy. Look at the price that he's given me. Andy, you knew. I know the other ones knew. Tim signed that non-disclosure, but I guarantee he talked with all of it. And you have something to do with this too, what happens in Manteno. You voted on it. Tim came here as a taxing body. Then why did he come and ask you in the first place if he had nothing to do with it? That economic board, that should be disbanded completely. Just get rid of it. You can sit there and smile and smirk, but I know you knew. I knew Rosemary knew. I know the other faces that were here, because I seen them. I seen these faces at that economic board meeting. I seen it here. And if you knew it, and I know you knew it, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because everybody on that board probably committed treason. You guys are right here, and you know what? I hope they come down on every one of you. I called Marco Rubio's office, and you know what? It went to Washington. The emails, the letters went yesterday. Because it's already done that Mike, and Tim Nugent even said that he's not going to push this if it's a federal thing, and he did. You guys jump on board with J.B. Pritzker. And look what he's done to Kankakee. Well, look what he's done to Illinois. He's destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. So Andy, Rosemary, what's the other one on here? Amanda, you guys were at the board, at the economic board meeting. Pat yourself on the back too, because you just helped destroy Illinois in Kankakee County.
Travis Collins from Kankakee.
Hello, board. My name is Travis Collins. I am an author. I am a community organizer, and I created a program named the Resilience Program. A little bit of history of the Resilience Program. The Resilience Program is a reentry program that myself and several ex-offenders started within the county of Kankakee. We currently meet at a restaurant, and the purpose of this program is job readiness. We have a curriculum for the Resilience Program, but it's mainly job readiness, preparing them with resumes, parenting classes, and as of now, we're operating out of a restaurant, and we're seeking funding so that we can take this program to a facility. We have a facility, but we just need funding to operate this program. I have a copy of the curriculum of the program, and also a book that I wrote. And so this book, I passed this book out to a lot of the ex-offenders, and this book helped them. It motivates them, and it's a curriculum in the back of this book. So we're trying to get more copies of this book for more guys that's getting out of jail. I spoke with two judges. Two judges is on board, so they'll supply us with pre-trial detainees, so we can help them as well. I meet with the probation office tonight, and they'll supply us with people as well as the people we already have, but we just don't have the funding. So I'm seeking funding from this board.
Is that it, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I have David, is it Kiken, I believe? Yeah, you were here last time.
Yeah.
From Manteno.
I just want to make a few comments about David Kiken, K-U-I-K-E-N. I just want to make a few comments about comments that were made at the end of the October 10th county board meeting. The first is regarding the water, aqua water versus well water. In 1999, my son was diagnosed with leukemia. There are many forms of leukemia: ALL, CLL, CML, AML. Joel had AML, acute myogenic leukemia. AML has 7 different strains. After he was admitted to Northwestern Memorial Hospital in downtown Chicago, He was visited by a fellow 1995 BBCHS graduate, Eric Rumble, that had been treated for the exact same strain of AML that Joel was now facing treatment. Coincidence? I don't know. By the grace of God and an umbilical cord stem cell transplant, Eric was a survivor. Joel was not. At the age of 23 on August 23, 2000, he lost the battle. Leukemia is not a genetic cancer, and at the time, the only causes that were presented to us as to how Joel contracted this leukemia were herbicides and pesticides. Joel spent his short life dependent upon his parents and his community for his well-being. For all his years, Joel drank the water that was provided in Bourbonnais. The problem is that all the farm field runoff ends in the Kankakee River, and all the tributaries drain to the river. Being involved in Relay for Life and raising well over $350,000 for the American Cancer Society over the years, I've learned that the area has a disproportionate amount of cancer, and I believe that part of this problem may be our drinking water. And the second comment was that we spoke nothing but libelous hyperbole. I just want to share some facts and data that has been gleaned from some of the newspaper headlines. Since 2018, Chinese-made fentanyl has killed 250,000 Americans. There's been a 1,300% spike in illegal Chinese immigrants arrested at our southern border. Unprecedented in human history, Five Eyes intelligence chiefs sound alarm on China's technology theft. Governor Pritzker shuns warnings from Biden administration and top Democrats about Chinese espionage. Chinese green tech companies pose national security risks to U.S., the report says. Washington tightens ban on all AI chips to China effective immediately. Putin hails deepened ties with China as Xi outlines his vision for a new world order. Senator McConnell calls China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia new axis of evil, exposing the CCP infiltration operations in the West from money laundering to election interference. Bring the fight to the front door. Senator demands strong cyber defense against Chinese hacking. Biden administration unveils new chip restrictions on our adversary, China. Chinese warplane harasses a U.S. bomber. China aggressively intercepts U.S. military aircraft 180 times in 2 years. I'm done.
So let's bring them in our backyard. What the heck?
Alrighty, that's public comment. I have more slips. Does the board want to vote to have extend public comment for these last three? Last two, Mr. Featherling? Is there a second to that extension? Mr. Eckhoff? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, these next two for 5 minutes. Is that acceptable, first and second? We don't want these two to go for 45 minutes. So, which is entirely possible. Okay, Denise Nicholson, Mantino.
Good morning. I watched the August 23rd vote on Project Unity, and these were some things I observed. That you didn't know the real name of the company that you were voting for, and you don't know what their business sense was. You viewed a map on Mantino where the plant was going to be, but as I was watching the video, I thought I was watching like a horror movie, because you know when you know somebody's about to get killed, you're like, oh, don't step in there or whatever, but you see Goshen, like the company, because you didn't know what it was then when you voted, or maybe some of you did, but surrounding that plant were residential areas all around, and I'm like, oh my God. Somebody flippantly said, oh, we're changing this from light zone rezoning to heavy rezoning, and you see all these residents all around, and do you think that's okay for all of us? You also were told about the jobs of 2,600 jobs, and that seemed to a lot of people in here like, oh great, we're going to get 2,600 jobs in our county. But then the presenter, Mr. Nugent, said it's only going to be 450 jobs the first 5 years, and a possible 1,200 or 1,300 jobs within 10. But then you see a map, and this is all supposed to be publicized as local jobs, but you see this wide circle, and he said something like thousands or 1.2 million possible workforce members that we could get from this area. So it's not Kankakee County that was being presented. He only mentioned China once, but very quickly. And then he said, we have to quickly vote on this. So you're voting on a company that you don't know the name, or other than it's a lithium battery company. It's going to give you lots of taxing money, and they're going to freeze it for 30 years. And you're, and somebody in here, I think it was Mr. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name, but Mr. Snipes. You mentioned, because Mr. Nugent mentioned, but we have to vote on this quickly, and it's an and or, and in the language, and you said, well, shouldn't we change it to one or the other? Remember you saying something like that? And then Mr. Nugent said, oh no, we have to vote on this quickly, because then I have to go back, and everybody that had voted yes previously has to, then we have to change the contract on the vote or something like that. I just remember that, and thank you, because you were the only one who said something, questioned this whole presentation. And from when I looked at the presentation, I thought, isn't anybody curious as to what's the company? A lithium battery plant? You're going to rezone a heavy industry in amongst residential areas, the toxins, the pollution, the traffic, chemicals being driven in back and forth. Didn't that occur to anybody? Again, I was like watching a horror movie, because I was like, oh my God, why are you voting yes on this? Because then on September 9th and 10th is when Pritzker and Nugent and the guy from China all came to very quietly announce it was Goshen. So now we know it's a Goshen, a Chinese plant. And as some of the former speakers have said, it is a CCP plant. They do have to vote or to pledge their loyalty to China. And my question to you is, after seeing the video of you voting yes, and you mentioned something at the beginning, is it Mr. Wheeler?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you guys have nothing to do with Mantino?
We have no zoning, no siting authority, no planning, anything.
Then why did you vote yes on this plant if you have nothing to do with it? Because by voting yes on August 23rd, did you not vote, give an okay for this plant to go in?
No, ma'am. And this is not a place to question the board. This is public comment.
But that was.
I do need to address this, because you are being lied to by a guy on Facebook that runs a page called Outrage. He's lying to all of you. We had nothing to do with the citing of this. This is public comment, and I'm just going to correct it.
Okay, but
we voted to get more tax money out of this, and then cap them if they provided the jobs they said they did.
Okay, so your job is the tax money.
That's it.
But if you voted no on it, would it?
That's the extent. I'm done.
But okay, I'm just going to just float it out there. But if you guys would have voted no on it, would that have stopped the Goshen plan? That's my question. Okay? And I think that's just kind of it. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the time.
So that was 5 minutes. That was 5 minutes. Sir, I will clear the room, and you will be removed. I have no problem with that, because this is not the place to have this fight. You have it where the zoning happens, in Mantino. Yes, sir, you can, even though the other speaker took your time.
You talked a lot of it.
No, I did not, sir.
My name's Ron Brown. I don't know any of yous. I know your face, that's about it. And you don't seem to be very concerned about the people of the county, the people of Manteno, the people you represent. You forget about the people. You don't want to listen to what they say. You stand up, you say your prayer, you look at the flag, you say your pledge of allegiance.
Sir, I said we wanted to hear what you had
I'm
to say.
talking here.
We said we wanted
I
to
had
hear
a
what you had to
public
say.
comment. You do not interrupt. I'm not out of line. You guys say your allegiance to the flag, and you sit down and sell the whole country out to the Chinese Communist Party. It's what you're doing. You can roll your eyes. Every single one of you. You stand up here, you support the communists. You give them our money. You don't know who you're giving it to. And now you're going to bring them in here. Give them a bomb, a firebomb of a factory. The wind's just blowing it right into our town. You don't care. You don't talk to the people? Do any of you talk to your neighbors? Do you go to church? Do you talk to your pastor? Do you talk to anybody? What do people want? What you should be thinking about. What do the people want? The people don't want this. You can do all your talking, all your eye rolling that you want to do. It's up to you people. Every single one of you. You gave tax breaks to the communists, and you know it. So you need to do the right thing. Every single one of you. You need to recant your vote on that tax break. Take it back.
All right, moving on. Under vacancy appointments, we have none. Presentations, we have the Kankakee County Chamber of Commerce here to present on the chamber. Oh, okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Post, and I'm the president and CEO of the Kankakee County Chamber of Commerce. I appreciate you guys letting me come in today and just give a little brief overview of me and just what we do here at the chamber. So just a brief about me, because I know I don't know a lot of you, is I came in April, and I actually started my career here at the Kankakee County Chamber of Commerce. I grew up here in Iroquois and Kankakee County, graduated from Herscher High School in 2017, went to KCC and graduated in 2019, and then got my bachelor's from ISU in Public Relations in 2020. And then I stepped into my role as the director here in just April. So I've just been here a little over 7 months. So a little bit about the chamber. Our mission here is to support and enhance Kankakee business climate through networking, education, and advocacy opportunities. And since I've come in just these short 7 months, I plan to really fulfill this mission. I want to speak to as many members as I possibly can, really hear what our members and the community want from the chamber. We do have multiple programs and ways that you can get involved. We have a Women in Networking program, our ambassador program, and our Young Professionals Network. With our ambassadors, they're really kind of the boots on the ground extension to my team. Right now I am a staff of 1. We are actively hiring, but it is just me, so our ambassadors and volunteers do a lot for us. We also have 4 active committees, which is our Voice of Business. They really facilitate our State of the County address and our legislative breakfast. We had our State of the County this October, and then we'll have our legislative reception next September. And we have an education and workforce committee that really focuses on those educational pieces and really will focus on our membership luncheons that we're going to start up next year. We also, this year, we started our DE&I series. We have 1 more series left coming up in December where we have a doctor from NIU come in and speak about those uncomfortable conversations, and she's been very enlightening, and it's been a very great series. So we do have 1 more left in December. If you're interested, they are free to the community to come. And then we have our membership committee that really focuses on the different ways to engage our members and keep our attention and get new members. So these committees are open to all of our members if you're interested. With our chamber, we have a lot of things that we do want to revamp within the next year. We are redoing our membership benefits. We do have 1 last big signature event for the end of the year. And that's our annual dinner. That's at the end of the month. So last day to register is this week. We're starting a student program for our high school and college students here in the county. It's going to be a very cheap program and an introduction for them to get kind of into the business world. We're also going to start an entrepreneurship program for businesses in their first 1 to 3 years. We're revamping our membership lunches and revamping our ambassadors as well. So we have a lot of things coming in 2024. So if you're interested, I did bring some booklets if anyone wants one with our membership directory. So please reach out to us. Thank you so much for letting me speak today.
I have a question, Kelsey, if you have a moment, please. The CEO program,
yes.
Could you explain a little bit about, at least briefly, what we know what the concept was because we funded it. And could you tell us how that went? Maybe some commentary about the diversity aspect of the people that went through the program. What do you expect as outcomes? Because we're very interested in that.
Yeah, this is
we
actually
want to see
perfect
our
timing.
youth grow into the types of jobs that a free market economy provides.
Yes. We actually had a meet and greet with our CEO program earlier this morning, so it's kind of perfect timing to come here today. There are 5 students in the program. They are about halfway through the year with it and are kind of revamping to start their own businesses next semester, and will be kind of in charge in that business process. So I've only been here for 6 months, so I'm not as fully integrated, but they are really growing. They're meeting with businesses every single month. They meet every single school day from 7:30 in the morning till 9, and they're doing a great job. The students each had about 10 minutes to speak, and just to see high school students introduce themselves in front of business leaders was very, very impressive. It was awesome to see.
What do they seem focused on? You know, like whether it's industry, whether it's, you know, for a while there everybody wanted to be a video game designer and developer. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
International business. I mean, where are people at? You know, or the kids, excuse me.
Pretty much every kid today said that they wanted to be an entrepreneur, which was different. They didn't elaborate on what types of businesses they wanted to come in, but I think a lot of them, I don't even think knew what entrepreneurship was until they started this program. They took business classes in high school, but weren't engaged. And I think with this program, they're going into a variety of different businesses. I know the facilitator's not just trying to focus on one industry. She is trying to hit every single industry within the county so that those kids can make educated assumptions on what they do want to go into after college.
So if you were telling the board what their investment did, success-wise, challenges, what would you say?
I think it's been very successful, and I think this is the first year, so there's going to be some hiccups with any program that you ever do, but I think these kids are learning and are engaged more than they were inside the classroom, and you can see that on their faces, which is really nice, and you can see it as they're speaking to you. In the class, I mean, you can only learn so much. There's so many more students, and I think right now with having 5, each kid is engaged, which is nice to see.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Monday.
I'd like to point out I was there this morning at the breakfast, and I think one very important piece that the board would be interested in knowing is that James Bretzlaff, one of the students who spoke this morning, stated that he had no idea that Kankakee County had so many businesses and there was so much opportunity here. So what I took away from, and he expanded on that a bit, but what I took away from that as someone who lives in the county is that, you know, he may be one of the kids that goes to college and comes back, or goes to a trade school and comes back. You know, there was a time when kids were going to school and never returning, but he was very impressed with what Kankakee County had to offer, and he had no idea before he started this program, you know, what all was going on here. A second thing I wanted to point out was I talked to Ms. Walters from District 111, superintendent there, and she spoke with me this morning, and she said she's hoping next year that they will have double the number of students, at least maybe even triple what they have now that the students have actually been able to see, you know, other students have been able to kind of observe what really is going on with this CEO program. So I think, you know, our money was well spent. It's a clearly successful program. What schools were involved, Kelsey?
Kankakee, Trinity, Kankakee, St. Anne, and Moments.
And Moments, right. Now, St. Anne currently doesn't have any students involved, and neither does Moments.
But they are still partnered with
Correct.
the
So,
schools.
right. So the hope is that, more students next year from some of these outlying areas. Thank you.
And I think they could even partner with more schools. I think we've only touched on half the schools in the county that would be interested in this program.
Sure. Thank you. All right. Moving on then. Let's see here. Proclamations, certificates of appreciation. We have Aaron Galloway, 10 years at the Highway Department. Eric Glenn, 10 years at the Highway Department. And Robert Schultz in Corrections, 25 years. Oh, there he is.
25 years.
Like a sentence. 25 years.
25 years. To life. Well, good morning. It is certainly my pleasure to be up here to introduce you all to Robert Schultz. Many of you know that a lot of the corrections staff are the unsung heroes, the ones that we don't see on the street every day. We don't see faces. Assistant Chief Rob Schultz started with us when he was 21 years old. So he's been here 25 years, so you guys do the math as to his age. Rob started as a correctional officer at the age of 21. He moved up through the ranks in the corrections division. He was instrumental in part of our transition team when we built the new jail facility. And he is currently the Assistant Chief of Corrections right now for us. And I can tell you this, I wish we had 100 Rob Schultzes. It would make my job a lot easier, and it would certainly benefit the jail. So Rob, in celebration of your 25 years, congratulations.
Speech.
Thank you.
The minutes of the last meeting, October 10th. Is there a motion there, Ms. Parker? Second. Mr. Long. All those in favor, say aye. I'll get you on the next one, Dr. Polk. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims Committee reports, please.
Mr. Chairman, your Committee on County Claims have begged leave to report they've examined the following claims presented and recommend payment. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to issue orders to the several claimants. Total claims of $10,594,648.62.
Dr. Polk, is that, can I get the motion from you on that?
Yes.
All right, a second. Mr. Fairfield. That's a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Snipes.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker. Aye. Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hodder.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Rittman-Ekemi.
Oh, she had to run out.
Yeah. Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Under department reports, please.
County Collector's Monthly Report for September 2023. Total cash and bank and investments of $15,285,266.37. County Treasurer's Monthly Report for September 2023. Ending balance of tax operating account First American Bank of $9,258,144.95. The tax collection account at First American Bank ending balance of $1,701,655.82. The tax e-pay account at First American Bank ending balance of $4,325,465.60. Coroner's Monthly Report for September 2023. Total calls 120, coroner's cases 14, autopsies 9, toxicology 9, 2 fetal, 60 hospice, 44 referrals, 73 cremations, 5 x-rays, 1 COVID-19, 4 pending. The income summary report for the coroner for September 2023, total of $11,489.53. Circuit clerk cash book for month ending September 2023, total dispersed $274,204.64. Recorder's monthly report for September 2023, disbursement fees paid to the county treasurer are $146,309.98. County clerk's monthly report for September 2023, total of $24,382.02. Monthly building division report for September 2023, total permits of 120. Total fees of $35,817. Animal control monthly report for September 2023. Total of $31,903.20. Total animals handled 111. Monthly resolution list for November 2023. Total to the county of $575,380.48. And on file is the quarterly report for the superintendent of schools for Iroquois and Kankakee County for quarter ending August 31st, 2023.
Alrighty. Is there a motion to combine and approve? Mr. Eckhoff, a second, Ms. Monday. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under consent, is there any of those items that should be peeled off and considered separately? Second time, anything that should be considered separately? Alrighty then. Is there a motion to combine and approve? Mr. Miller, second. Ms. Andrade. If we can get those read in the record, please.
The appointment of Dan Sockeld to the Kankakee County Sheriff Merit Commission. The appointment of Dr. Diane Fedro as veterinarian for the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. The appointment of Michelle Creasy to the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee. The reappointment of Dennis Johnson to the Momentum Yellowhead Drainage District Number 1. Agreement to approve decommissioning plan and bond in the amount of $318,332 for the St. Anne 1 solar farm project. The agreement to approve decommissioning plan and bond in the amount of $287,157 for the St. Anne 2 solar farm project. ZBA case 2312, request for rezoning from A1 agriculture to A2 agriculture district on a parcel generally situated in section 11 of Pilot Township. ZBA case 2313, request for a text amendment to County Code sections 121-99.c, fairgrounds and racetracks of all kinds, and 121-291B10F9, mini warehouse and self-storage parking requirements, and awarding the bid to Glade Plumbing and Piping as the lowest responsible bidder for the Hopkins Park Pembroke residential natural gas conversion.
Alrighty. And a roll call whenever you're...
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Snipes.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker. Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Donnell.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
I just tried to get recognized, Mr. Chair.
We were on consent though.
Okay.
We should have pulled it beforehand.
I
Can we have to vote and then afterwards I can answer the question. I'm sorry.
but can I ask a question afterwards?
Afterwards, yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps.
Aye.
Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Turner. Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, my question on the awarding of the bid to the Glady and piping. Can anybody respond to if indeed there's any SBE, MBE, or WBE provisions for that contract at all?
I know we had to go down that road, and Ben will give you the result of that because we did have to do some things there, and we always do when it's state.
Yeah, I just asking for the record.
Yep.
Just to clarify, BEP question. Okay, so as part of the grant activity for the letting of this bid, the state of Illinois gave us requirements for both MBE and WBE. That information was so that's minority business enterprise, women business enterprise was included in that contract language. So they have to meet that standard within that. So they gave us, with their response to our bid, the contractor they would be utilizing to meet that number essentially as part of the contract. So that can be done through direct work or supply. But we have that documentation from them, and this is very similar to other work we've done with DCO on these projects, where you get a list of qualified entities within the CMS portal, and that's, I guess, maybe one of the pieces of distinction, because I talk with the mayor a lot about this over in Hopkins Park. The only contractors qualified in the CMS portal meet this standard, so it's not necessarily just somebody from town that might be a woman-owned business or minority-owned business. They have to be registered with CMS in the state of Illinois. So that's a kind of the important distinction on these grants.
Yeah, LaJoby, what's LaJoby's, Mosley?
Mosley.
He's certified by the state of Illinois through CMS, and I was just making sure. Did the ladies say they shall, or they'll attempt to do so?
So this is a best faith attempt, as it's currently done within the state of Illinois. I will tell you, if we do not meet the number, we have to explain why we did not meet the number. The documentation supporting that is relatively clear as far as the call-arounds are concerned. The language we're getting from Glady is that they will meet the standard, though.
Question, Ben, just to kind of tag on to that. They will not issue the actual grant until these have been presented as the solution, correct? I thought that was part of the process. They would give us the actual letter saying, okay, release the hounds once you got MBE, and that's been my experience.
Yeah, so we're short a grant agreement still on the project. We're trying to kind of work as many angles and parallel paths on this one as possible. But yeah, so we've got one going right now with one of our other grants where we then have to make the once we've selected a contractor, we will issue what is called the BEP. So that's the Business Enterprise Plan Utilization. So we will then issue that to the state of Illinois. They will look at all of that documentation, and then they will say go. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those, like, we get asked a lot, where's your BEP? And we say we don't have a contract yet, and they say, well, you can't get any money. It's like chicken and egg a little bit with the grant agency. But that will come out of this. Once we're approved, or I guess we are approved now via vote, we can then start that plan process with the state.
Well, let me just pose this question to you as well too. Some of the large contracts, and I've paid close attention to a community benefits provision. I know that when NICOR came, they did their due diligence out to Lorenzo School. They allocated, I think, and Rosemary, correct me if I'm wrong, $25K to the chamber or somebody. One entity they kicked, where they allocated $25,000 for their programming. Can we discuss at some future point community benefits provisions on these large contracts?
Not with not the way these dollars flow. I mean, I can tell you, I've had this conversation a lot with the chairman. We're not even allowed to collect grant administration dollars for my time on projects like this. This is expressly for the construction, the way these are structured. So they want to see through the capital budget from the state of Illinois. They want to see direct construction.
I understand that, you clarified that, but in terms of other contracts, and may not be germane to this particular matter here, and maybe ancillary, where might the community benefits provisions be utilized or focused on? We'll talk about that, okay, at some point. But I want to, because I've seen community benefits happen all the time.
Yeah, in private work, it's far more common. The grants make it pretty tough.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we should sit down with State's Attorney's Office, because we're not a home rule. There's only one home rule county in Illinois, and they make us well aware of that frequently up in Cook. So I think that may be some parallel there, that you can do things in home rule communities that you can't. But we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Make sure we're involved in that discussion.
And
and maybe find out how other communities have done that, you know, that may not even be home rule.
Moving on to PZA. If we can get the title read into the record, please.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County regarding authorizing the county board chairman or his designee to sign the intergovernmental agreement with Kankakee Regional Land Bank Authority.
Alrighty, it went through, I believe, PZA, Ms. Andrade, second, Mr. Featherling. Any explanation necessary? It's pretty cut and dried. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There's no allocation of funds in there, correct? I'm sorry, this is one I did not look at. I want to make sure that we don't need a roll call.
I do not see anything.
I tell you what, let's do a roll call just to make sure, because I don't want anything to be caught. I don't think it's required, but I want to make sure just so we don't have to come back.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Snipes.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker. Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps. Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Rittman. Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Ms. Earps, was that an aye? Just give me a wave.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just wait. We got you back. We got you back.
Okay. Sorry.
Her mouth moved,
No, it's
but
tough. It's
we
tough.
couldn't hear.
Sometimes you get those glitches. Alrighty, motion carries. Moving on to finance. If we could just get the title read in the record, please.
Ordinance of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois regarding the combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Kankakee County, Illinois, 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Alrighty, is there a motion to approve? Mr. Dunhill, second, Mr. Hunter. For question's sake, presentation's sake, is there anything that anybody has anything for Steve? He's here, Mr. Hunter.
Highlights briefly.
Highlights briefly.
Well, we've
Wow.
discussed this before, but just none of it. You know, I want to see your eyes now, Chairman.
It's for a $40 million budget, and well, I guess the main there's one thing I would want to address. The first thing is that it's a higher budget number than we're used to seeing. It's because we're using already captured funds from the bed rental program and the other non-taxpayer, local taxpayer supported resources to pay off the jail. So that's coming right out of, we're not going to levy for that, so that's a tax break. So we have to account for that somewhere that's within our budget instead of just being outside of the budget. That's why it's a little bit higher than usual. What's it, 1.6, Steve? 1.5? Is that, it's in,
Payoff, yeah.
The payoff is like about 1.6. And that puts us as a really functionally debt-free county. We have money in the bank. We're not borrowing from ourselves, other entities. We have just the animal control bond that's being paid for with the fines and the fees, tags from animal control. I don't know that that's happened. So that's a high level view of what this budget is. And it also allows us to, we're supplying added resources where this frankly awful Safety Act has been placed upon us. We're looking at the places initially where we know we're gonna need another person on the road. We know we're going to need people to do redactions on all the new video that's going to be coming out. We're kind of just starting to, I want to say, jog a little bit with the Safety Act to see what the impact is going to be within the court system. So that's within this budget as well.
Yeah, you know, those are kind of comments I wanted to hear because we've discussed that before. You know, at finance and every person who came before us, as well as criminal justice, that we posed a question, the impact of the Safety Act. It was that more time and resources are being allocated towards the implementation of that legislation. So you've articulated that stuff. Additionally, you know, we can slap each other on the back, you know, for not levying, but we're paying off these bonds and stuff. And so that's something that our constituents and taxpayers need to be well aware of, and I'm sure the media will stroke us for doing that. Right, Chris?
When the levy, we'll talk about the levy next month. That's where you start to look at how that manifests, and we will again see another reduction in the multiplier. So it's been a pattern with us, and so questions about the budget, we'll get into that other stuff in next month's meeting after finance. Mr. Eckhoff, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to go ahead and highlight that through a state law, that VAC would go ahead and be falling off of our tax levy and going on to the property taxes. So that's one other change in our budget as well. So
yeah, that'll materialize next month as
Yes.
well. We'll talk more about that next month. But with the state law, yeah, it's a whole new line item on the bill.
And to piggyback off of Steve's comments, we were talking about the expense side of the budget with the Safety Act. Also, the Safety Act hurts us on the revenue side too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a detriment to us for public safety. So just a highlight on that.
So again, it's we're trying at least to deal with it the first year to get our arms around what the real costs are going to be. We just don't want to go out and hire a bunch of people where we think it's going to be. We want to see it manifest, and it could be through budget amendments throughout this first year. You just don't know. It is truly the box of chocolates. So we've seen how it's starting to roll out. It's going to be difficult, and unfortunately, the people paying the price are the taxpayers and the victims.
And again, it's another unfunded mandate by the state of Illinois, just to point out.
Steve, is there anything else that I'm missing? That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, we went around with all the department heads, talked to them.
An important comment that was made at the finance committee, we've gone from talking about borrowing money to pay our bills.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Steve, I forgot to turn you on.
My voice wasn't getting picked up. So. Important comment at the finance committee. The trend, we've gone from discussions of how to borrow to pay our bills to now being able to pay off things early and debt early and be debt free. So it's completely shifted. We had graphs up and stuff. Hopefully everybody saw that. Big picture, it's a really good budget. It's balanced, and with fund balance to be able to sustain us in the fact that something were to happen and history repeated itself.
There is one thing I will say, and we do need to be prepared for health insurance next year, because health insurance that through this process you're starting to see what a fixed benefit, if you will, or fixed contributions, better said, does to a health plan. Your deductibles go really high, your out-of-pockets go really high, and your premiums go really high. So we have a committee that's going to start looking at this early. Even though the decision won't come until right around the budget next year. We're up about $7 million in terms of health insurance, and we're not alone. I mean, the fixes for the health insurance industry. The industry called it rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, because it's not based on numbers; it's based on healthy outcomes. You want more healthy people. We always used, when I was in the business, you don't want a group that looks like me. You want a group that's a little more healthy. Those are where the good rates are. Yeah, me and John, our rates just went through the roof. Actually, that was most truck driving companies were like you and me. So, but the rates were triple. So again, we're feeling that here at the county as well. We pay 75% of that. So that's really the only other thing I think that is prepare you for next year, is Safety Act and health insurance. All right. Well, we got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
We lost her. Yeah.
Mr. Snipes.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico. Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunnell.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hodder.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps.
Aye.
Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Man, I remember the days when doing the budget it was like a funeral dirge, I mean, it wasn't good. Under ARPA, We have the next item here. If we can get that title read into the record.
Resolution of the County Board of Kankakee County, Illinois regarding authorizing expenditure from fiscal year 2023 Fund 95 America Rescue Plan Fund to Kankakee County Community Services Incorporated.
Quick question. Does anybody have a problem if we vote on both of these together? If you'd like them separately, he can read the title of the next one in the record because they're for the same place. Is that okay? If you can read that in there as well.
Authorizing expenditure from fiscal year 2023 Fund 95 America Rescue Plan Fund to Kankakee County Community Services Incorporated for youth programming.
So is there a motion to combine and approve? Mr. Featherling, Mr. Long with a second. Just any questions, basically? Yes, Mr. Snipes.
Just for the record, because I'm the president of PCSI, even though I don't get these any remuneration from this, but it's just safety. So because I'm the president of that, then I will abstain from voting on these commissions. So I'm in agreement with abstaining for that.
All right. So basically, we're funding the fringe because, as it brought to our attention, if we don't fund the fringe, the state takes the fringe out of the other grants they get. So we would have, if we didn't fund the fringe on the request, they would actually lose money at KCCSI. We don't want to hurt them by helping them. The second thing would be the 3/4 or really the second year of their program. They came in and presented. We needed two separate documents because in finance, if you remember, it was a little bit confusing. This has the two separate issues voting on separately. So I just want to make sure everybody knew that. All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Snipes. Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter. Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps.
Aye.
Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Let's see, next item. Oh, openings.
One opening on the McGillivray Special Drainage District, one opening on the Cabry Area Fire Protection District, one opening on the BM Lewis Drainage District, one opening on the Moments Pembroke Union Drainage District number 1, one opening on the Kankakee County Public Building Commission, one opening on the Union Drainage District number 2, one opening on the Essex Township Fire Protection District, and 2 openings on the Animal Welfare Advisory Committee.
All righty, thank you. New business, we have, if we can get the title of 260 read in the record, please.
Resolution of the County Board, Kankakee County, Illinois, regarding a resolution accepting a grant from the Illinois Housing Development Authority Strong Communities Program, Round 2.
Ben, could you explain that a little bit, please?
I certainly can. I guess thank you to John and the chairman on the work, and I know this is the first time you're seeing this, so we're going to go through this a little bit. I just want to give you a brief timeline on this grant. So we had our webinar on the 24th to kind of roll out the grant, and they asked us to give them an appropriate timeline for passage. So I sent through the PZA November, passage December by full board, and they said that was unacceptable. They wanted it passed by the 15th of November. And if we didn't get it passed, they would pull our grant from us. So here we are. $487,000 Strong Community Round 2 grant. The chairman and I put together an application in, I think, June. These funds are to help the county and you know, with our partner, the Land Bank, for acquisition of property, maintenance cleanup, just, you know, blight and abandonment reduction within the county, obviously within the jurisdictions within the county. And we're allowed to do work anywhere within the county, but we would partner with any villages or cities that came up for that. But what this is, this action today, it allows us to pass a resolution essentially accepting the grant and allowing the chairman to file a bunch of paperwork. Anita's been a great help upstairs. She's sent over, you know, all of our documentation from, you know, insurance documentation. I got the W-9s from Steve. Everybody's kind of playing their part in this one, and it's been a pretty crunched time. But we felt like losing $487,000 in potential funding didn't seem like the greatest of ideas. So we are requesting today through a more kind of an emergency platform that we would allow the chairman to sign the documentation, get everything put through. Certainly, if the board would like to see at a subsequent committee meeting, I'd be happy to go through more of the application, but this is the second time we've been through Strong Communities Program. We received funds through round one. We did not expend all of those funds, but we have been working with Dr. Crawford at the land bank to make sure that eligible expenses on the properties they are working on are being paid for. And then we hope to, now that the land bank's a little more nimble in their current capacity. Obviously, we just took action allowing the acquisition through abandonment process for some properties within the county. We're able to kind of turn the properties a little more quickly. I will say that, and Andy tells me this a lot, our goal is not to just to demo a bunch of properties within the county. That is a function of this, but the real goal is to get non-tax paying properties back paying taxes. And so we can use these funds for activities like that.
So any questions? We wanted a long explanation because it didn't go to committee, but you see why. And so that's, any questions about any of this, Mr. Hunter?
Just a comment, Ben, you're very thorough. I think some of us attended the land bank meeting at the library, when was it, last week? Jessica and I think Rosemary attended. I'm not sure who else was there. Very thorough. Very comprehensive, standing room only. In fact, Mary Curtis, James Lopez were every 5 minutes having to go in other rooms and bring in more chairs. For a forum such as that, I was really impressed with the turnout. Very diverse, people from all walks of life. The presentations that were made were very thorough, informative, and I think the presentations made by Dr. Crawford and other entities, other individuals there, were very helpful in terms of explaining what the land bank's about, what its mission is in terms of placing those abandoned properties back on the tax rolls, methodologies, how they do it, etc. It was a very, very good meeting. I was really pleased at the outcome. So, and that's why I'm supporting this resolution.
Any other comments, questions? All righty, you probably should roll call that.
Do we have a motion second?
I thought we did.
Yeah, there was. That's what I'm supporting. Yeah.
Your motion?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, how about a second?
A young man over there.
We're just inventing this as we go along. Mr. Ashcraft with a second. How's that? Sorry, guys. I'm in a bad place. Roll call, please, sir.
Mr. Hess.
Aye.
Mrs. Polk.
Aye.
Mr. Snipes.
Aye.
Mrs. Weber.
Aye.
Mrs. Parker.
Aye.
Mr. Fairfield.
Aye.
Mr. Carrico.
Aye.
Mr. Eckhoff.
Aye.
Mr. Featherling.
Aye.
Mr. Dunhill. Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Kirkstra.
Aye.
Mr. Hunter.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Hildebrand.
Aye.
Ms. Foster.
Aye.
Ms. Andrade.
Aye.
Ms. Armour Earps.
Aye.
Mr. Ashcraft.
Aye.
Ms. Monday.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Any old business from the group here? Anything old business? I just will, maybe I'll clarify one more time. The only vote that we did in this body, the only jurisdictional action that we took was increasing the taxes on the subject property by our share of $1 million a year, which was 100,000. And we voted to increase that by that amount of money. Then we voted to cap it if the employer met their hiring commitments. And if they didn't, then they didn't get anything. That's what we voted on. So we could have voted no, and all the other taxing bodies could have voted no. We could have voted yes. Nobody has crystal balls to understand if they can, what would have happened in that instance. I think $575 million from the state of Illinois might have been a lot louder message than that, but we'll let that history make that decision. And again, I just don't want other people telling lies about this body for financial or political gain. It's sad because it should be talked about. It should be discussed federally. There should be eyes on companies who peg their currency to the dollar and don't let it float on the world market. There should be eyes on that. But I'm not sure that that lies within our purview. That lies within the federal government's purview. And when it comes to us, if it was in the county, then it's our siting authority. If it's in a municipality, then it's theirs. It's really that simple. So, Ms. Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Just a quick question that I'm curious about. During public comment, at what point is it appropriate or is it necessary to call in security?
When there's a fear for the safety or the bounds that have been set up, I asked the board member if they required security because one gentleman was up into the board member area and the board member did not look comfortable. And so I asked them, I didn't immediately call for security.
So and when again, there's raised voices and aggressive behavior, that's not a reason to call.
Blurting out, screaming in the meeting, we want to listen, we want to hear. I think I even said, please tell us your thoughts. But 20 minutes later, it was, you're keeping us silent. I'm not trying to figure that one out. But all I can say is that I'm trying to allow a discussion to happen when it's not our jurisdiction. And if you're going to attack this board, please make it factual. Because there's things we do that should be discussed and questioned. Everybody deserves that, but not when it's not in our jurisdiction. I don't really understand that.
Understood. And but I'm just concerned about the aggressive behavior that we have witnessed a little bit, and I just don't want that to proceed in any way. And I don't want us to set a precedent that that's acceptable.
I don't think we ever have, and I'm not necessarily concerned if the board member isn't. And that situation de-escalated as far as I was concerned. Mr. Featherly.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I had chaired the ZBA for like 13, 14 years or something. And that's not, we didn't see anything that I considered to be lewd or any reason to call security today.
Right, before the meeting. Yeah. This was before the meeting.
Well, that and actually at the microphone as well.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, I want people to say what's on their mind. It's their right. You know, I just try to make sure they understand that if they want something changed, this isn't the body to change it. We have no authority. We could change the taxation and we could reverse that. But I don't know why we would reverse getting another $100,000 a year in taxes out of the property. That doesn't make sense. Do you think they're going to not come because of $100,000 from the county when they got $570 million from the state? Sorry, it just doesn't make sense on any level. So, please, want your opinion? I would hope it's about what we do here.
I can see your eyes, Chairman.
No, I don't want to instigate. I really don't want to instigate, man. I have some of the same concerns on the geopolitical side of things. I think we all do. You know, but when it falls to us on the decisions that we're put in front of this board to make, that's what we made our decisions on. What is within our purview. Someone gets pulled out up here, well then obviously there's no other decision to be made. So, old business, new business, any business? Anyone? Oh, Mr. Snipes, sorry.
Let me rise for this. I just want to congratulate my seatmate on graduating from the UCCI and the University of Illinois Leadership in Government. Definitely is a class that's taxing, but it's definitely informational, and he went through it and graduated from it. So I think that he needs to be recognized for that particular purpose. Thank you.
Congratulations on that. It's
So I went back to school.
We get
67 years old and I went back to school.
Good question about these associations that we belong to, and that's one of the things. It's the educational opportunities that are contained within them. So, and the fabulous buffet lunches, right? So.
Pretty good.
All right. Any motions to go home, Mr. Hess? Motion to adjourn, second, Ms. Andrade. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.